Good morning, everybody. Today is, I think it's something like November the 14th, 2018, and I've been in this house. I've since moved. To cut a long story short, my previous videos were all about motorbikes and stuff like that. And that was when I had a cellar in the old house and a bit of a backyard. I've since wanted to do a bit of gardening, so I sold the house, moved into a smaller house, and I'm now stood in the new house. We've been in here about probably 4 months now. Missed the beautiful summer, but never mind. My motorbikes are in a unit, so I shall be doing something with them soon, and maybe selling them. I have no idea what to do yet. But anyway, I'm inside this new house, just in between Halifax and Sobby Bridge, and looking over there, I don't know if you can see it, there is a railway line, and there's the hillside. It's a little bit foggy at the moment, but there's a hillside up there. In front of our house there is a busy main road with a canal in front of it, and then after the canal there's a river, so we're quite close to, you know, nice walks and stuff like that. So this garden, when we moved in, was absolutely, totally overgrown. And let me just show you. Oh, by the way, there are lots of apples on the floor because my next door neighbours have got an apple tree, and I've just eaten one of the apples actually. Absolutely beautiful. And I'll just do you a quick view at the top of the garden. We're back onto some beautiful woods, but more about that in a minute. There is my beloved. She must be doing some sort of ironing or something. Being nosy, waving. So she just got her ass out of bed. Anyway, let's do the boring stuff. Now, I've got plans for this garden, and I'll tell you what they're going to be now. My first plan is, yep, she's pointing. I don't know what she's pointing at. What's she doing? Here we go, look. She's no idea this is going to go on YouTube, dickhead. Anyway, down there you can see a massive green bush. That one there, that is coming out, it's ginormous. And these conifers, what I'm going to do is, where the branch sticks out and goes up, they're going to get chopped off, but I'm going to leave the conifer main trunk in, and that will act as fence posts, because this is the boundary between me and my neighbours. And if I go up here, you can see that the fence is absolutely knackered. So what I'll do is I'll just go to the top of the garden. So I'm at the top of the garden now. This is the stone wall that leads on to woods over there. There's all sorts of wildlife, like squirrels and stuff. I don't know where the hell it's gone. That's there, look. loads of squirrels and what have you. So these are public woods. This is the top of our garden, and that's looking down towards the house. So them conifers are going to get trimmed down drastically. That massive green bush is going to go, and we're going to have a general tidy up. So let me just do some more pictures of this squirrel. It's eating some nuts. Where is it? So there's all sorts. Anyway, and the garden is full of these metal posts. I've no idea what these posts were for. Another one there, look. They seem to be all over the place. There's one there as well. And it's full of these bloody big thick 2-inch concrete slabs everywhere. They're everywhere, look. That there is just a bit of a bonfire pit I had on bonfire night to burn a load of old bushes and stuff that we chopped down as soon as we moved in. Anyway, let me just get quickly organised and I'll get right back with you, and I'll tell you why I'm actually doing this video. Back in 2. Right, we're back. So this video, or this series of videos, is ultimately going to be about building a stone shed. Now, my stone shed, I want it to be bare. So, where this pipe is, this soil pipe is, there, laid down, to where that ladder thing is, that's 10 foot, and to these little bits of wood on the floor there, that's 12 foot. And the reason that I'm stood up there is because that's 10 foot high, but I want my shed to be about 9.5 foot high, something like that. So this is to give you a bit of an idea of how the size of what I want. So it's 12 foot wide, so 12 foot from there to there. Sorry, 10 foot wide, so 10 foot from there to there, and 12 foot long, so 12 foot from there down to them bits of white wood. I'm going to have to submit plans because I want the left-hand wall to be sort of like in line with the boundary. So where these posts are, these posts here, I want my left-hand wall of the hut, my stone hut, to be sort of like in line with that. If I didn't do that, I could build permitted planning, whatever it's called, but it can only be a certain size and it's got to be a certain distance from the boundaries and stuff. So that's where my hut, that's where I want the hut to be, and that's how tall it's going to be. So looking at it from the top, so as you can see, I'm going to be stood on this little ledge here, which is next to my boundary wall. So if I'm stood behind the hut now, the top of the roof will be maybe just at eye level after I've gone up this little ledge thing. So this will be the space that I'll have. So this will be a wall down there, a wall there with the door there, and then a wall back up to there. I think what's 12 by 10? Is it something like 113 square feet or something of internal space? I don't know. Anyway, so it's going to be quite a large shed inside, but you know, there's quite a lot of stuff I want to do with it. I want a lot of room. I want a workbench down one side and stuff like that. I might do a bit of woodworking in there. Have a go at woodworking or something. I don't know yet. But anyway, there's going to be electricity running to the shed, and the electric will run down there, and just before that arch there is some stone step, well, some concrete steps. It's going to go underneath them steps, under the path, and then across to the electric meter, which is just behind that big green bush. So I've no idea. I'm actually reading books and watching YouTube videos. So this shed is going to be built purely by a novice. I've never ever dug foundations, I've never built a wall, never done a roof, nothing. I'm slowly reading books. I'm designing the plans myself on the computer, which I'll show you. So this is going to be a complete video of how to do it. There's lots of videos on YouTube that show you how to lay foundations, and it shows you, you know, an hole already dug and stuff like that. I'm going to show you how to try and calculate how deep the foundations need to be and stuff, and stuff like that, and how wide they need to be and how thick they need to be. Now, no doubt I'll have a lot of people who are experienced saying you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Please leave any comments, good or bad. I'm not bothered, couldn't give a monkeys. If they're good, obviously they'll help me. If they're bad, then it makes no difference, just carry on. As I say, I'm a complete novice. So one of the first things I've done is I've put in a temporary benchmark. Now that piece of wood there is concreted in, and I've just used some cane from some plants I bought, and that piece of wood at the top of it is going to be at the damp proof course level. Okay, so this is on a pretty gentle slope, so maybe I should have put this at the top of the slope rather than the bottom, but to be honest with you, the slope isn't that bad. In fact, that area there, the floor space there, look, is practically, to be honest with you, nearly level, so it's not too bad really. But anyway, so that's my benchmark, and hopefully that is where all my measurements will be taken from, and certainly the depth of the foundation and stuff. Just on another note, as part of the building I'm going to have a stone with a benchmark on it, because I'm one of these. I fucking hate modern buildings, steel and concrete, I hate them. And I think that all our old natural buildings are just disappearing too quickly. Now, at the front of our house, through that archway down onto the main road, just across the road there is actually a benchmark embedded in a stone pillar, and I'll show you that later. I'm going to transfer, and I know that on the internet that says it's 90 metres above sea level, so I'm going to transfer the level up here. I'm going to have a proper benchmark embedded in the stone wall with the height above sea level as well. It's just, don't need to do it, don't have to do it, I just want to do it. It's just, I'm going to create a building and that's what I want in it, so it's as simple as that. Now the building itself, the window is going to be on the side where them wooden step things are, and the door is going to be at the bottom here. It's going to have a gable roof with a slate. It's going to be a gable slate roof. So bear with us. I'm going to get cracked on with it, like I say, I'm a complete novice, so if I can do it, I hope this video or this series of videos will help everybody else do it. Here we go. Let's start off. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I've got my tape measures and shit like that and my drawing pad, so I'm going to draw that, try and get it onto paper, then I'll get it onto computer and so forth. What I'll need to do, I think, first of all, is that temporary benchmark thing there, whatever it is. Is it a datum post? That's it. That datum post there, I'm going to need to find out exactly how far that is from the wall and stuff like that, and from maybe the boundary or something, and then I know exactly where to put that onto the computer then. So keep watching. Right, so I need to get the distance from that datum to that wall, and then somehow calculate it from there to the left hand side of the garden. Then on my drawings I know exactly where to put that datum post. So I just wanted to show you that, I don't know if you can see that or not, that I've got it, it's set in concrete and it's level. And what I did was, I went out and bought one of these. I don't know if you can see that, it's just a distance thinger. Let me see if I can turn it on. Oh, there, look, so distance in inches. Can you see that? Can I get it a bit closer? I don't know if you can see that or not. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Oh, shit, it's just blasted into my eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, from the centre of that post, I'm going to zap it to that wall and see what sort of distance we've got. Right, I've got my first measurement and there was a bit of a discrepancy. So what I did was, I got another post and I leant it against, stood it on top of that one, sorry. Oh look, I think there's a train. Oh, I thought I heard a train. Never mind. Anyway, so I stood the post, it's the same size post as that, stood it on top and I got it level with my spirit level, you know, vertical, and then I stood my electronic thing on top of it and pointed it to that bit of wood there, and I could see the laser, so I pressed that and it said 395 inches from there to there. So then what I did was I double checked it. I got my tape, the big long tape, and admittedly did it from this side of the post to there, and it sort of like dragged along the floor and then up that mound and then across that flag and then up them flags to the wall, and that said 33 feet 6 inches, which is I think about 402 inch. So there's a discrepancy of 7 inches. Now I think, to be honest with you, I'm probably going to go with the electronic measurement, because like I say, it was on the top of that post, it was dead level, dead flat with that post, whereas the tape followed the basically the contour of the ground, so it went on up that mucky mound, on, and then up them stone flags. So that's the distance from there to there, 33 feet from that post to that wall. So what I want to do now is somehow try and get the measurements from the post now to the fence, and then maybe from that post to that post or something like that. and I'll have an accurate coordinate of where it's going to go on the plans then. So I'll see if I can do that. Right, so I've done my drawings on the paper and transferred it to computer. So this drawing on the left basically shows you where the datum post is going to be, and the one on the right shows you where the proposed building is going to be. So I've measured the whole of the garden as well, and I've transferred this to the computer. So this file here is called Garden Full, and it shows you the full area of the garden. So the gardens are 22 foot 3 inch wide by 147 feet long, and the green blob at the top is the proposed new location of the building. So if I click this one now, that one is just showing you the dimensions of where the post is, and this one is now showing you where the post is in relation to the new building. And what I've done is I've used the 3-4-5 triangle, and what that does, it gives you a perfect 90-degree angle. So it's either 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, or if you double it up it's 6 foot, 8 foot, 10 foot, or if you double it up again it's 12 foot, 16 foot, or 20 foot. So that's on there now, and the reason I've done that is because I wanted to try and calculate where this corner is. Now that corner is the internal corner of the building. Hopefully the building will be blockwork internal with a stone outer leaf, and as blockwork is more square than stone, well, the stone I'll be using anyway, that's why I've done it for the internal. Obviously the foundations, I'll do a plan of the foundations, they're going to be a lot wider than the actual building, and I've no idea if I'm doing this correctly or not, but I figured if from that triangle where the post is, if I measure 56 degrees and then measure 6 foot 11.5 inches, that will give me that corner, hopefully. Now I'm assuming that the existing blockwork that's up there is square, so this new building will be probably taken off that. I suppose I better check that existing blockwork is square, and obviously the top of the triangle there, the top of the yellow triangle should be at 90 degrees to that existing blockwork. So like I say, complete novice at doing this. I've no idea if I'm doing it right or not, but I'm assuming that when I submit all these files to the planning, they'll tell me anyway, otherwise. Just to show you, I'm using that book and that book to work from. So that's it. So hopefully guys, this is the end of the first video. The next video will be where I'm actually setting out the foundations and stuff like that. But I'll keep you updated as to how I submit the plans and whatever, and if it gets passed or not. Well, I suppose I better do that first, hadn't I? And then we'll see how it goes. So, catch you later.